Once upon a time in a small village in Nigeria, there lived a man named Henry. Henry was known for his carefree attitude and his dislike of responsibilities. He loved to spend his days lounging around, chatting with friends, and avoiding any kind of hard work. Despite this, he managed to win the heart of a kind and gentle woman named Mary. Mary was the opposite of Henry. She was hardworking, responsible, and always took care of those around her. The villagers often wondered how such a diligent woman could fall in love with someone like Henry, but Mary saw something special in him that others didn't. She believed that with time and love, Henry would grow to be a responsible man. Soon after their wedding, Mary became pregnant. She was overjoyed and looked forward to starting a family with Henry. However, Henry was less enthusiastic. The thought of taking care of a baby scared him. He worried about the sleepless nights, the constant care, and the many responsibilities that came with having a child. When their baby boy, Tom, was born, Mary was thrilled. She held him close and promised to be the best mother she could be. Henry, on the other hand, felt overwhelmed. He couldn't handle the crying, the diaper changes, or the thought of having to provide for his family. One night, when Tom was just a few weeks old, Henry made a decision. He packed a small bag, left a note on the kitchen table, and quietly slipped out of the house while Mary and Tom were sleeping. In the note, he explained that he couldn't handle the responsibilities of being a father and husband and needed to find a place where he could live freely without any burdens. Mary was heartbroken when she found the note the next morning. She cried for days, but she knew she had to be strong for her baby. With the support of her family and friends, she managed to take care of Tom and build a life for them. Years passed, and Tom grew into a bright and cheerful boy. He loved to play, learn new things, and help his mother with chores. Mary made sure Tom knew that he was loved and that they could get through anything together. She never spoke ill of Henry but taught Tom the importance of responsibility and taking care of those you love. Meanwhile, Henry wandered from place to place, living a carefree life. But as time went on, he realized that his life was empty. He missed the warmth of a family, the love of a wife, and the joy of watching his child grow. He thought about Mary and Tom often and regretted his decision to leave. One day, after many years, Henry decided to return to his village. He hoped that Mary and Tom would forgive him and allow him to be a part of their lives again. When he arrived in the village, he saw how much had changed. There were new houses, new families, and new faces. He felt like a stranger in his own home. Henry walked to the house where he once lived with Mary and Tom. He knocked on the door, his heart pounding with hope and fear. Mary opened the door, and for a moment, they just stared at each other. Henry saw the surprise and hurt in her eyes. "Mary, I'm so sorry," Henry said, his voice trembling. "I made a terrible mistake. I want to come back and be with you and Tom. I want to make things right." Mary took a deep breath and looked at Henry with a mixture of sadness and strength. "Henry, you left us when we needed you the most. I had to raise Tom on my own. We've built a life without you, and I can't just let you walk back in as if nothing happened." Henry felt a pang of regret in his heart. He knew Mary was right. He had abandoned them and couldn't expect to be welcomed back so easily. "Please, Mary, give me a chance. I've changed. I'm ready to take on my responsibilities. Mary shook her head. Henry, it's too late. Tom and I have moved on. We've learned to live without you. You can't just come back and expect everything to be the same. Henry's shoulders slumped in defeat. He realized that his actions had consequences, and he had lost the chance to be a part of his family's life. Mary closed the door gently, leaving Henry standing alone on the doorstep. Henry wandered the village, reflecting on his past mistakes. He saw other families, fathers playing with their children, and realized what he had given up. He had missed out on so many precious moments, and now he had to live with the consequences of his choices. Henry found a small place to live and decided to start over. He took on odd jobs, helping villagers with chores and tasks. He wanted to prove to himself and others that he could be responsible and hardworking. Over time, the villagers began to accept him and appreciate his efforts. Though Henry was never able to fully regain what he had lost, he learned an important lesson. He understood the value of responsibility and the importance of being there for the people you love. He hoped that one day, Tom would understand why he left and see that he had tried to make amends. Years later, when Tom was old enough to understand, Mary told him the story of his father. She explained how Henry had struggled with responsibility but had tried to change. Tom listened quietly and felt a mixture of sadness and compassion for the father he barely knew. Tom decided to visit Henry. He found him in the village, working in a small garden. When Henry saw Tom, his eyes filled with tears. "Tom, I'm so sorry for everything," Henry said, his voice choked with emotion. Tom looked at his father and saw a man who had learned from his mistakes. "I understand, Dad. I just wanted to see you and know more about you." Henry smiled through his tears. "Thank you, Tom. That means more to me than you'll ever know." Though their relationship was not the same as it could have been, Tom and Henry began to build a new bond. They spent time together, sharing stories and learning from each other. Henry knew he could never undo the past, but he was grateful for the chance to be part of Tom's life, even in a small way. And so, Henry learned that while mistakes can't always be undone, it's never too late to change and make amends. He lived the rest of his life with a newfound sense of purpose, knowing that he had finally learned the true meaning of responsibility and love. Thank you for staying till the end. Did you learn something from it? Please share it with me in the comment section. Also, please like and subscribe to this channel to see more stories every day. See you tomorrow.